one thing to see the northern lights. It's another when they appear with such striking iridescence. But that was the scene on Monday night from northern Finland. The photographer who recorded the footage said he'd never seen such brilliant aurora shades of red. But scientists say it does make sense they were so intense. Auroras appear when charged particles from the sun collide with Earth's atmosphere in the far north and the far south. And a day before this video was taken, there was a strong solar flare, a burst of energy from the sun, which can set the stage for saturated shades of northern light. It wasn't only visible through a lens or a fancy filter. The Reuters news agency says you could see it all happen with the naked eye. And the photographer told the outlet that the colorful atmospheric dance went on until dawn. I'm Azuz for The World from A to Z, your nonpartisan source for news and world events. And as we were assembling this show, NOAA's sail drone in the Gulf of Mexico recorded a wave of almost 30 feet high. It was about 40 miles away from the center of Hurricane Milton, which was bearing down on the U.S. state of Florida. Landfall was expected late Wednesday night or early Thursday morning, and numerous damaging tornadoes had been spawned as the storm approached. Its path had shifted a bit to the south. Forecasters originally predicted Milton would directly hit the city of Tampa. Last night, it was headed about 40 miles away from there towards Sarasota. But its impact was expected to be felt all across Florida, especially in the center of the state and on both coasts. In addition to schools and businesses, Disney World, Universal Studios, and SeaWorld had all shut down. There was one hopeful bit of news, if you can call it that. Milton's strength had weakened Wednesday, as expected, from Category 4 status to Category 3, with wind speeds of around 120 miles per hour ahead of landfall. However, the hurricane was still expected to cause a rise in seawater levels, a storm surge of as much as 13 feet in Sarasota, and possibly up to 12 feet to the north and south of there. So officials and residents were bracing for extensive flooding along the state's coasts. Tomorrow, we'll bring you a report on the effects of Hurricane Milton, the second major cyclone to strike Florida in 2 weeks.
Word of knowledge. Which of these social media platforms has the most active users? Snapchat, Instagram, Telegram, TikTok. The technology company Meta owns both Facebook, the world's most widely used app, and the most popular app on this list, Instagram.
But it's TikTok, which has more than 120 million American users, that's facing a new lawsuit from 14 states. It's related to how the app provides content to young people. Specifically, the suit accuses TikTok of using addictive software to keep young users watching, scrolling, and viewing the ads the platform profits from. The new lawsuit comes in addition to a legal fight involving the U.S. government over TikTok's foreign ownership.
For the developing teenage mind, the TikTok platform is like digital nicotine.
TikTok faces new lawsuits from 14 state attorneys general who allege it hurts young people's mental health.
Our goal is to hold the company accountable for its unlawful conduct and to stop the company from engaging in practices that exploit our young people for profit.
Numerous studies show social media in general can harm children and teens. A CDC survey out shows high schoolers who use it frequently report more negative experiences and emotions. But the new lawsuits single out TikTok as being especially dangerous.
We know that the overuse of social media is driving an epidemic of mental health challenges for young people. TikTok is particularly effective at it.
The suits argue TikTok's endless scrolling content is addictive. They say challenge videos on the platform can encourage risky behavior, and late-night push notifications can disrupt sleep. TikTok says it's proud of its efforts to protect teens. It says it removes underage users and employs safeguards.
TikTok hasn't been straight with the public, with parents, with children, in overstating its safety features when it knows, in fact, that the safety features don't work.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Okay, you heard part of TikTok's response in that report. The company also says it thinks the accusations against it are, quote, inaccurate and misleading, and that it's disappointed the states decided to sue the platform instead of working with it to find solutions to what it called industry-wide challenges. TikTok isn't the only tech company that's been sued over something like this. There have been hundreds of lawsuits that accuse various social media companies of contributing to mental health problems among young users.
Check out this photograph. The underwater image just won the 2024 Wildlife Photographer of the Year competition. The picturesque pic called The Swarm of Life shows western toad tadpoles snaking through lily pads in Cedar Lake in British Columbia. Contest organizers say the species is threatened due to habitat destruction and predators. Canadian photographer Shane Gross spent hours silently snorkeling to take that spectacular shot. The picture was chosen as the winner from nearly 60,000 entries.
On this date in world history, Hurricane Milton isn't the only dangerous storm to have hit around this time. What became known as the Great Hurricane of 1780 struck the Caribbean on October 10th. More than 20,000 lives were lost on islands like Barbados, Martinique, and St. Lucia. The disaster from 1780 is the deadliest Atlantic hurricane ever recorded. On this date in 1973, U.S. Vice President Spiro Agnew resigned, becoming the second American VP ever to step down. He'd pleaded no contest to income tax evasion. President Richard Nixon appointed Republican House Leader Gerald Ford to replace Agnew, and Ford became president himself after President Nixon resigned during the Watergate scandal. Is it constitutional? The 22nd Amendment states that if there's a vacancy in the office of Vice President, the President can nominate a successor. True or false? Answer here is false. While the Constitution gives the President this power, it's part of the 25th Amendment. The 22nd addresses presidential term limits.
It's a milestone more are reaching, and the number of people who hit 100 in the U.S. is expected to more than quadruple over the next 30 years. But when it comes to living healthier for longer, experts say age is more than a number. Instead, aging is marked by metabolism changes, cells no longer replicating, stem cell exhaustion, meaning they aren't replenishing as quickly, and declining immunity.
Each one of those hallmarks of aging, as they're called, is a potential area for intervention, where you could actually extend lifespan by focusing on those things.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta says that while we do age a little every day, studies show there are bursts of molecular changes that accelerate aging, and he says they happen when a person's around 44 years old and again around 60 years old. The CDC says healthy aging means making good lifestyle decisions and developing healthy habits. That includes nutrition, having a healthy, balanced diet, keeping our minds stimulated, getting enough sleep, staying physically active and socially connected and engaged with others, and managing stress. I'm Mandy Gaither.
We're recognizing 2 stateside schools and one that's more than 4,000 miles away. First, a salute to the Spartans. Mrs. Chapman Otis's class is with us from Antioch Middle School. It's in the city of Gladstone in the Show Me State of Missouri. Moving east, we come to Frederick D. Thomas Middle School. Mrs. Vandemark's class is watching from the first state of Delaware in the coastal city of Lewis. And jumping across the Atlantic, we arrive in the European nation of Denmark. A warm welcome to Miss Friese's class, watching from Rugers International School in the capital city of Copenhagen. It's not every day a governor grants a reprieve to a rodent. Then again, not every rodent is this cute. This is Nibby, a 2-year-old beaver that was rescued from a roadside about 2 years ago and has been cared for by a rescue organization since then. The issue? Officials in Massachusetts recently ordered that she be released into the wild. The problem? Her caretakers weren't sure she'd make it after being raised in captivity. The solution? Massachusetts governor stepped in to allow the animal to stay with the rescue group, and Nibby will be used to educate people about her species. So Nibby was a little bitty homeless helpless kit, not endangered but in danger on her own in Massachusetts. From where you sit, you can see that if they tried to set her free after life in captivity, the odds were not the best that she would be okay. So to save the day and take away the risk at play, they made a way for a reprieve and made the governor believe that it was best to keep her and at the end leave it to Beaver. I'm Carl Azuz, making a rodent in another edition of The World from A to Z. Thank you for watching. As always, you mean the world to me.